You're listening to Beyond the Benchtop, a show about food ingredients. Our conversations go far beyond the lab as we dive into topics spanning from food science to market trends and everything in between.
Hi, and welcome back to Beyond the Benchtop. I'm Kristi, the R&D representative, and today we have Leti. Welcome back, Leti. Can you please introduce yourself again and talk about what ingredient we're going to focus on today?
Hi, good morning. I'm Leti, the international manager. So we're going to focus on chiles, jalapeno, chipotle, ancho, and guajillo.
So I'm guessing that you like spicy food. At least I would hope.
I like spicy, but not too spicy.
Yeah, I agree. And the nice thing about chilies is there's a wide variety, some that are a little more mild and then some that can really pack heat. Which one would you say is the hottest that we offer here?
The hottest is the jalapeno. We sell a ton of jalapeno. I think people like to have a little kick in their menu.
Yeah.
So I am more on the mild way, or mild size, but definitely jalapeno is very successful. We have a lot of success with this product. Absolutely. Especially in the south, well, I'm going to say south of USA. They love spicy food for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of working on a lot of different opportunities. Everything has just so much more heat than anything that I'm working on in here. And then we'll even send it out and they'll be like, it needs to be hotter. And so then that's usually when we'll bump up the jalapeno powder because that's the one for sure thing that will pack the punch there, I would say. Yeah, definitely. And the nice thing about too the jalapeno is we offer a wide variety of types of jalapeno too. I know we offer powder. Can you tell us what else we focus on?
We offer jalapeno powder, jalapeno granules, and jalapeno flakes. Definitely jalapeno flakes is the number one sales for sure. And we sell a ton. Jalapeno powder is, I think it's just when you put the jalapeno flakes, you want to see a visual a little bit.
Right.
And you want some kick, you want some spice, but also you want some visual. The jalapeno powder is going to be just for the heat. Yeah. Because you're not going to see anything.
It depends on the application as well. I would say a jalapeno powder would be really good for like a rub or something like that.
Soup or
something that might be going to like a spicy sausage or something like that.
Exactly.
But, you can have a lot with the jalapeno dice like you were saying or in the flakes as well.
You can put that in everything for sure.
Yeah. Really good for soups. Like a spicy soup would be good. As well as you also focus on guajillos as well, right?
Guajillo and ancho. So, yes, those are really mild chilies. So it's more for, I think we're using it more for beverage and just very, very little kick.
Yeah.
So,
Would you say that those are kind of a little more delicate than the jalapeno in the processing techniques?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth.
I feel like normally what I hear about those two products are that, it is kind of hard because of the way that they dry. A lot of the times they're air dried.
This for sure. So the ancho and guajillo, the process of drying is really long. So they dry, everything is done manually. So they dry all the ancho and guajillo outside at the sun. And lately the weather is not being great.
It's not permitting.
As the climate is changing. And instead of, for example, 3 weeks drying, they need way more. So I'm not going to say they're losing business, but they have some delays because of that.
Right.
Then you add the freight,
which
is even longer. So yes. So you can have some issue with some mold if the product is not dry enough.
Yeah.
So
it's
kind
really
of delicate for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a classic game of supply and demand, like you were saying, like because of the processing techniques being so unique and difficult, then it really limits on the availability of the product and
the price.
As well as the quality.
Jalapeno, where you can buy it in China and Mexico, and I think they have some way to dry it. They use some technique. It's not drying outside for sure. So it's faster. It's cheap. We're gonna say cheaper than ancho and guajillo for sure.
Yeah, and would you say that what do you think St. Charles does the best in ensuring that the quality is there for the customer?
So, best quality because we always test everything. So we make sure all the macros are into our spec, meet our spec. So
especially with the air dried,
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we clean all the jalapeno go through a production line. So we make sure there is no foreign materials. So yeah, safety of the customers first, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think that that's a good point, just because, like you were saying, it's a different processing technique from other veggies that we do offer, that it's air dried. So it's kind of something that might be susceptible to different microbial growth. So it's one thing at St. Charles Trading is we're really ensuring the quality, the color, as well as the overall safety of our customers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you noticed any changes, you would say, within the pandemic, like an increase in Chiles, or has it been harder for product to come in?
With the pandemic, of course, yes.
Yeah.
It used to be, let's say, 1 month on the ocean. Now it's like you need a transit time of 2 to 3 months because it gets stuck at the port. It has to be to wait to get loaded, moved to the rail, and there's a big congestion. So it's taking more time for sure.
And how would you say that St. Charles Trading is able to alleviate these problems despite longer lead times?
Well, we need to have more storage. So we need to make sure we stock more, and instead of waiting 1 month, you need to have in your lead time 3 months lead time now. Yeah.
So really planning for that. And I think that our international department in general does an amazing job at this. They know that the ports have been really tight and really congested lately.
Yeah, and no space on the vessel. So it's very difficult to find some, first of all, to find containers, because they don't always come back to the country. So we see all those containers everywhere, but they have to come back to the country to load more product, right?
Yeah.
So you need to find containers, you need to find space on the vessel. And this is, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's truly one obstacle after another. And then if it's one thing, then you come in and you have to make sure the product is also of high quality as well. So it's really just, I would say, one obstacle after another. But I think St. Charles Trading always does a really fantastic job of, along the way, just kind of fine-tuning everything and making sure that
we do our best for our customers, for sure.
Yeah, it's exhausting, but you guys do a really good job of alleviating those problems, which I'm sure the customer always really does.
And they understand.
Appreciate.
They appreciate, yes, for sure.
Where would you like to see the different chilies expand to, in like what industry?
Well, you can see now the chilies, you can see them in snacks.
Yeah.
You can even see them in chocolate, in everything.
I was just about to say, yeah.
So that's amazing. You really see those chiles everywhere. It can be from appetizer to dessert.
Yeah.
So there is a big range, varieties of application, for sure.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah. We even had a video that we did Mexican hot chocolate, I believe, or hot chocolate cookies. And although I think we used cayenne, I'm like, I'd be interested to see how it would be if we did something else, like a dried chili. I think it would be, application-wise, really cool, and some dessert items.
Let's give a little kick. You don't feel too much spice, because obviously they are not putting too much chiles in the cookies, but you feel a little kick, and I think it's interesting.
Yeah,
and it's different.
Exactly, and it's kind of funny too. And I noticed this in particular with jalapeno is at first you're like, it's not that hot. And then you'll hit a part that might be close to a seed or something like that.
Don't eat
and
the
then
seed.
It hits you at the very end. And especially too, it's almost when you stop eating is when it hits you the most.
Yes, that's when you feel okay, this is coming.
And then all of a sudden you have to start drinking milk because it's so spicy.
Or eat bread. The level of heat, for example, you're going to have the ancho, the guajillo, jalapeno. Chipotle is a smoky jalapeno.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit stronger. So, for example, we're going to say the ancho is around the 1,000 SHU. The guajillo is around the 2,000. And the jalapeno is between 2,500 to 8,000. And the jalapeno is 2,500 to a little bit more because of the smokiness of the product. So
it just kind of depends, like we were saying before, application-wise.
Exactly, yeah.
Because some, like you were saying, have a little bit of a more smoky flavor. Some are going to have a little more earthy. Some are just strictly spicy. Yeah. So I think it just definitely depends on what it's going into.
Yeah, and you see always on those the meal you buy, you see mild or hot. So those chiles, depending on what you choose, it's going to help for the mild menus or the hot menus or the salsa or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. That way the consumer knows what they're getting into.
Yes, exactly. I would go for the ancho guajillo. I like the mild.
Yeah, the mild. Yeah. I know that one is nice, like you were saying, because I would say it's probably the most, would you say, not widely used, but I would say widely accepted amongst consumers, just because when in doubt, kind of go, like you were saying, the mild route. Whereas when you're going with jalapenos, it's most widely used with our customers, but it might be a little too hot for some.
But you have this big influence, in USA you have different cultures, right? A lot of cultures. So a lot of Mexican culture, they use a lot of spice. The Asian use a lot of spice. So they would go more with hot spices.
Yep.
And people like me, coming from Europe, we like mild, like ancho and guajillo. So that's funny how all those cultures makes the sales interesting.
Yeah.
So you do more jalapeno for all those Mexican meals, and I know in Texas they love spicy. So they're gonna use a lot of jalapeno in their sausage or menu or whatever.
And it's interesting how, like, in different cultures the spice is different. Like,
totally.
It's certain ones it kind of hits you right away, certain ones it hits you afterwards. Like, for example, obviously chilies are completely different than wasabi, but wasabi goes like straight up the nose, whereas
like
if it's like a jalapeno, it's more like you can feel it right here, and it almost like warms your face up, whereas wasabi, it's more just like hits you up here and it hits you in the forehead, and then after that it's kind of alleviated. But yeah, that's interesting too. I think within the snack industry too, it's starting to expand there because people are getting kind of tired of like the traditional flavors in the snack industry. I mean, back in the day it would be like a cheddar cheese or sea salt or something, and now I'm seeing some more unique flavors really kicking up the spice, especially in snacks that are more prevalent within the health and wellness industry, because I think they're using ingredients that aren't as flavorful because they might be higher in protein, lower in carbs, so it's not the same mouthfeel and palatability of like a traditional potato chip. So they really try and counteract that. They need to add
something.
Exactly. They really try
to make
and
it interesting that. And
just has a little more I would say. I think it adds a more powerful dynamic, something attractive. As well as it's very earthy flavor. It's something that's natural. But it's
no
also
calories.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's perfect.
Exactly.
It's interesting in the taste. There's no calories, so it's all benefits. We're gonna say.
Exactly, and it's really good for like hunger. It's more satiating when you have spice, as well as I think we talked about this before when you came on for the veggies. Veggies are a great addition because you can help add more flavor, but also decrease the sodium content, which is something that we're in 2016 the FDA changed the nutrition label, and they're really trying to show what percent of the daily value is coming from each ingredient, and that way people can really see, oh my gosh, this bag of chips is 36% of my sodium content for the day. So when you add the chilies, you can kind of decrease the sodium as well as maybe decrease the fat amount and not be compromised with flavor. So Leti, can you kind of give us a little bit of a rundown of the physical characteristics of each different type of chili and maybe kind of how they are different from one another?
So the ancho is it's really cute. I'm sorry to say that. So it's oval like a blackish and with a lot of wrinkles. The guajillo is long red. It's very pretty. It's very close to the paprika. It's like the same family of the paprika, but with a little bit of spice. The jalapeno is long green, like same size of the guajillo, but green. And the chipotle is super dry, it's smoky, so it's going to be like a brownish. And
so you would say that the chipotle and what was the first one you mentioned are probably...
The guajillo?
Yeah.
No.
The most
similar...
No,
the ancho and chipotle would look the same because they're wrinkly and...
Yeah.
They look like super dry.
They're mature.
Yeah, they're mature. Here you go. And the guajillo and the jalapeno would have the same... It's a long, tiny, narrow chiles, and one is red, and the other one is green.
Yeah, so all different kind of colors, certain characteristics, but
you can do some decoration in your kitchen with all those kind of
they are
chiles.
Beautiful.
That's very pretty. Exactly. You have different kind of color, size, and
they're very aesthetically pleasing.
Very.
So Leti, can you please tell us how long we've been sourcing chilies, or is it relatively new, something that we're familiar with?
I would say it's pretty new. The jalapeno, we've been selling it in a small quantities. Now we are selling like this product like crazy, and we developed the ancho and guajillo because I was able to get some really good relationship with suppliers. So we could see a little bit of attraction on those products. So then I was able to bring to the table those products directly. So we started to sell it more. Chipotle, definitely, we're selling it more. We used to not sell it at all. So we used to sell all those chilies in really, really small quantities. And now it's really something that we have always in our warehouse for our customers.
It's really exciting to see that we're starting to expand our line into chilies as well.
Yeah. And more chiles, because Chile, the world of the chiles is really big. You have many, I don't know how many, hundred of chiles, kind of chiles.
Yeah.
So I don't know all of them. I know some of them.
We'll get to hopefully source some
We're
more
learning
in the
little by little to know more chiles.
Exactly.
We do a lot of red pepper ground also. The cayenne pepper, the 40K, 40,000 SHU, and the 60K. We're selling
those
that.
have surprisingly a lot of heat as well.
Yeah. And the 60, we sell that more in Louisiana, New Orleans, where they do the crawfish. And they love spicy over there.
They're big into spice, and they can handle it real well too. Thank you very much, Leti, for joining us today and telling us more about Chiles. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening. Follow or subscribe so you can always catch the latest episode. For more information, check out our website at stcharlestrading.com.